Hey, it's Talukdar and welcome to MTC Ed, where we discuss practical tools and techniques that help you live a productive, balanced, and meaningful life. This video is part of a series where we're exploring the 8 habits for a happy and successful life. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey. I'm endlessly grateful for your kind comments and support. It means the world to me when you watch this series and tell me that you're finding it useful. Number 4 on the series and the topic for today is, don't be afraid to ask for help. In today's episode, we're going to explore together why you may be afraid to ask for help in the first place, how I benefited in my life from other people's inputs, and what are the 4 steps that you can take today to reach out to more people so that you can benefit from their advice. Happy and successful people know that they can't do everything on their own. They're aware of their limitations and know that sometimes reaching out for help not only helps them get to the solution faster, but also helps them build strong relationships. Whether you want to learn how to tie a shoelace or build a rocket ship, someone already knows how to do it. So if you surround yourself with the right group of people, they can actually help you with whatever you're trying to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of standing on your own 2 feet. As a matter of fact, I strongly believe that it's difficult to make real progress in life when you're constantly looking for other people's help and opinion. In order to make real progress, you need to think and act independently. But I also appreciate the fact that sometimes it's impossible to figure out all the answers on your own. Even if you stick to your guns and put an enormous amount of effort in finding all the answers yourself, yes, you would probably learn a lot from that self-learning experience, but you will also spend an inordinate amount of time looking for those answers. Time that could have been better spent in other areas. Also, did you know that studies show that when you reach out to people and ask them for help, share your concerns with them, it actually makes you a little bit vulnerable, and people can actually relate to that, and that eventually leads to building trust. But sometimes we let our ego come in our way, and it stops us from sharing our thoughts, our struggles, our concerns with others. There are times when we're just shy, and there are other times when we're just scared of looking foolish. I understand that the fear of being judged when you show your vulnerable side to others is a real concern. But you also have to understand that the price we pay by being in our shell and not asking for help when we need help is way too high. And it's often an impediment towards our long-term growth. I see countless overworked people who are overburdened at their jobs, but they're too afraid to go to their boss or their coworkers and ask for assistance. They hate their work-life balance, they are constantly miserable, and they bottle up all their feelings inside of them until they can't take it anymore. And when they get to that point, the first impulse is to look for a new job. And oftentimes they believe that if they got a new job, this problem would be solved. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. Because even if you got a new job, you could still be in a situation where you have too much tasks and you're either too proud or too shy or too scared to ask for help. And again, you will be in a situation where you're miserable and not happy. We all know people who have either been in that situation or are currently living it right now. But let me ask you this. If you are someone who is scared to ask for help because you're unsure how that other person is going to treat you, is that really a person whose opinion you should care about? Because people who truly care about you will help you whenever you reach out to them. So don't worry about all these haters. They are not worth your time. But before we continue, if you're new to my channel, please hit that like button, be sure to subscribe and click that bell notification icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video like this. In my life, I have benefited immensely by reaching out to others and asking for help when I needed it. When I was 18 and I went to college, I wanted to find ways to raise some extra cash just so that I could support myself through university. I spoke to every person I could. And eventually, that led me to my college roommate who was taking a graduate level computer science class at the time where he was learning how to build websites. He shared the resources that he had with him, and I used that to teach myself how to build websites. And that's how I ended up having a web design firm. In my last video, I talked about how I went from a $41,000 a year salary to a $250,000 salary just in a couple of years. And one of the things that I did that allowed me to do that was that I reached out to people within and outside my organization and I asked them, hey, what did you do to go to the next level in your career? I went to countless presentations and seminars just to be able to talk to people who were better than me. And I was upfront with them. I told them, hey, listen, this is where I'm at now. This is where I want to go. What do you think I should do? And a lot of people responded to that. Sure, there were a lot of people who didn't know how to help me, but that's okay. I was doing my part by reaching out to as many people as I could to understand what steps I should be taking to go to the next level. I did the same thing to people on LinkedIn. I reached out to like thousands of people and said, hey, listen, I can see on your profile that you have accomplished ABC. I am looking to do something similar, but I'm kind of lost. I don't know what I should do. What do you think? Here's my profile. Do you have a couple minutes to chat? And you would be surprised how many people responded and were kind enough to give me 5-10 minutes of their time just to kind of go over with me what they did and what I should do to move forward. And here's the thing. I would take those tidbits of information and I would piece them together just to be able to create a clear picture for myself as to what my next step should be. Because at the end of the day, it was me who had to take the step. No matter how much people tell me what to do, I have to be the one to bank on myself and understand what I am able to do versus maybe what I'm not able to do. And as I discussed in this episode, these small, tiny, achievable steps that I kept taking kept motivating me and kept wanting me to keep going. Asking for help and getting people to help you isn't something you learn overnight. But when, who, and how to ask for help is something that you only get better at as you practice it more and more. But in order to do any of that, you have to get the ball rolling. So here are 4 things that I would ask you to do. Number 1, take the first step, pick a topic, and reach out to 10 people to ask for their help. Number 2, don't prejudge the advice you're going to get. You will see that as you are listing out those 10 people to reach out to, you will start anticipating what are the things they're going to say to you. Don't do that. Just listen to what they have to say. You don't have to buy everything they're saying. If you truly don't believe in something that they're saying, you can challenge them by asking more questions. That's okay. Just make sure not to offend them. Number 3, once you hear the advice, don't feel obligated to follow it. Because remember, the goal is to be able to get as many inputs as you can. Thank them for their time and tell them that they have given you a lot to think about. And then move on. Number 4, take all the advices that you're getting, piece them together, take a step back, and see what makes sense to you. If you are doing this exercise authentically and honestly, at some point you will start realizing that this is the clear path for you. Now, if you didn't get any advice that you can actually act upon, that's okay. You just have to increase your sample size for people that you're asking for advice from. The more positive friend circle you have, the more positive inputs you will have. If you saw this video of mine, you know how changing my friend circle completely transformed my life. So the next time you feel stuck, remember that there is nothing that is unlearnable and there is no one that is unteachable. You just have to find the right person, ask the right questions, and then gather the info to carve a path for yourself. By the way, if you're new to my channel, I'll leave links to all those videos I just talked about in my description below. And I want to know, what is a topic that you are struggling with? Post in the comment section below, and you may be surprised as to how many people may be able to help you with it. And I may be butchering the pronunciation, but thank you to Herse Hakinda Videolar for your question. Can you do a video on manifestation? Ooh, that is a really good topic, and I'll definitely do a video on it in the coming weeks. If today's video resonated with you, please be sure to share it with others. Until then, please be kind to yourself. I am Mark Talukdar, and I build people.